Yep, so welcome back
We still haven't figured out this intro thing.
to the Centennial Peregrine. Tune in next week. No, that would be the end.
What?
That's how you end the shows. Tune in this week. Now.
What?
Because...
This is already a mess.
It is. One of her favorite baddies is back. Would you like to squeal again?
I love him.
So, we're going to be talking about the new Ahsoka arc.
Mm-hmm.
The latest episode came out today. It was freaking awesome.
Yes.
And there was some build up. We've been talking about it for a bit. And just trying to figure out to get back down to recording. So, but yeah, no, here we are. We're pretty pumped.
I feel like we're obligated to be like, day, I don't really know what day, whatever, of quarantine.
Right, that's true.
Day 8.
I got my quarantine haircut.
Yep, you did.
Yep.
Your quarantine cut. Everybody's getting a mohawk in this family.
Yep, whole family's mohawk
I did
now.
it first. I win.
I mean, technically I've done it a bunch of times before.
Okay, but like in the recent times.
The recent times.
Like the olden days. The olden
Oh,
times.
yeah, right, I forgot.
You know, the phones.
So our daughter, who's 7. So
She is 2 weeks away from being 8, dude. She's no longer 7. She's 8.
I mean, she's technically 7. Anyways, she saw a phone handset. You know, like a regular...
No, well, she drew it for Pictionary.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
She was
drew.
trying to get us to
So
phone
she
booth,
was like,
phone booth.
yeah, so I drew a phone, like from the olden times.
Like,
The olden times.
olden times.
Thanks for that.
Have you seen the little accessories? So it's like a USB you can plug into your smartphone, and it has like the...
Yeah.
I'm just like...
Yeah, who does that? Why? Why would you...
Gen Z, because they feel like they left out of something? I don't know. So I have been working from home. Well, we've both been like stay home since... You've been stay home since the 16th, and I've been since the 18th, so it's been...
I didn't know you were tracking
3
it.
weeks. 3 weeks. Well, I just remember because like the 16th was when spring break started and you were home already. And then you got sick with potentially coronavirus. Who knows? We'll never know because you'll never get
Quarantined
tested.
myself in this room for 5 days.
Oh, it must have been so hard to quarantine yourself in the game room with your computer and the TV and the Xbox. So terrible.
I mean,
Poor
it
thing.
was because like I was in such bad shape that I didn't want to sit at the computer. Like I was just on the couch because I didn't want to move.
It's true. Yeah. But we'll never know, will we?
Yeah, no, apparently not. Because called the VA, and the VA didn't call me back until I was already starting to feel better 5 days after I called them. They were like, yeah, you probably had it, but we don't have tests. And then like 2 more days go by, and Kristen Sinema shared a thing on Twitter, who's one of our Arizona senators, about
We live in Arizona, surprise.
testing in Tucson and like how you can get tested and all that. So I called them and they were like, oh, well, if you don't have symptoms anymore, we're not going to use a test on you. And I'm like,
Well, they're
cool,
coming up with
great.
the antibody test now, so might be able to get that. See if you ever even had it.
yeah. It would be good to know.
It would be, yeah. It would be kind of nice.
Yeah. Anyways.
Cool. Star Wars. Yay.
Yeah, Star Wars. So, Rafa's kind of a jerk. And
I mean, I get it, I guess.
she just feels like...
Okay, so like...
There are times where she feels stubborn simply for the sake of being stubborn, like without an underlying reason for it.
Yeah, there is an underlying reason for it. Her ego.
Okay, that's fair. Maybe
But-
that's why I don't like it, because I don't like ego.
Well, but I get it. So like coming from like an older sister, you know, with a younger sibling, in a situation where we grew up, Mom was working 3 jobs sometimes, so it was just us a lot because Mom was having to work so much. Like, I kind of get it. And I also know that, like, my sister is somewhat naive on some things because of how much Mom and I took care of things.
Yeah, Trace
for
is
her.
super naive.
Oh my God, poor thing.
Dude.
Fucking Trace, dude. Poor thing. She's cute. I like her outfit. But poor thing. Just, I do feel like their characters were.
I mean, she dumped the spice. And how did your brain get there? No, really. I understand that we're about to land on this Pike planet, but sit down.
I don't know who the Pikes are.
I want you to sit down right now, Trace. Okay, please sit down. Walk me through the mental process that you went through to get to. They're gonna take my ship. I'm gonna dump all the spice. What happened in between there to make that equation balance out?
Yeah. Poor little thing.
That was funny though when she was all like, "Well, Ahsoka, you said we were gonna, use it for good." Well, that was more of an ethical debate.
Right. Didn't mean right that second. Yeah, so the Pikes remind me of the aliens in Independence Day.
Yes. Yep.
Not that this is the first time we've seen the Pikes, but it's just, again, every time I see them, I'm like, yeah, I like Mark Krem.
It's the first time they have, like, significant speaking. Like, in the whole, like, whatever, when Maul and Death Watch are bringing the baddies into Mandalore.
To the
and, like, the previous, like, there's, like, a tiny bit of talking, but...
Not a lot.
Or, like, the one Pike, the first time they show up there, and he pays off the dock worker.
Oh, yeah.
A Mandalore. Like, he talks a little bit, but it's still, like... It's
so,
like a throwaway scene, you know what I mean?
So apparently Marg Grimm is from the Dark Disciple novel, I think, is what I read.
Who's Dark Disciple about?
Ventress and...
okay. That's the Ventress and Quinlan Voss love story. Well, it gets to that in there anyways. Yeah.
Still need to read that
I do need to read that one.
By read, I mean,
I've heard very good things.
Listen. Also need to do Master and Apprentice and...
We need to get some bookshelves.
Yeah.
And rearrange the room.
Yeah. Well, now that we're not driving, like, I've been having a hard time. Like, I was listening to the Ahsoka novel again, and I'm like, that was my drive-in to work and drive home from work thing.
Oh, right.
And now I'm like, shit. Like, I'm really behind on, well, not really. I'm not that behind on podcasts. But I'm just like, it's weird to just sit and listen. So I had them on today when I was cleaning. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. We'll put our podcast recommendations down below because there's some pretty good. Well, I listen to some good Star Wars ones. I don't know if you listen to any Star Wars podcasts.
I don't listen to any Star Wars podcasts. Pretty much the only Star Wars content that I like intake outside of like Star Wars itself is Eric Voss from New Rockstars, and then like most of your people I follow now.
Really?
Yeah, like Hope and.
So Hope is
Lipstick and Lightsabers and.
So Hope is the co-podcaster for Jaig and Jedi, Lipstick and Lightsabers.
I'm pretty sure I follow Jaig and Jedi too. Do they have a unique?
Yeah, Jaig.
Like other than their own personal ones?
Yeah, they have Jaig.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I follow them too.
Yeah, and then Lousy Beautiful.
Although I don't get on Twitter much lately, because that was always like my walk away from my desk and take a break from working thing, and now.
Yeah. And also Lousy Beautiful Town. Excellent podcast. And there's some others in there that are on my list. Like, I should listen to that because other people in those podcasts have referenced them. It's like, I really need to listen to them. But yeah, now it's weird. But then I'm like, I haven't finished the Ahsoka novel. I mean, I've listened to it. But yeah, Dark Disciple is one of the ones we need to do too. But yeah, that's apparently where Mark Krem is from. He's fun looking. I like him.
He's a little fancy, yeah.
He's bougie.
They just have like I don't know. It's just they're definitely very strange.
Just the Pikes.
Like, what's the evolutionary adaptation that like led them to having these giant heads with tiny faces and their little bitty necks? Like, I don't know. Just seems odd.
I mean, is evolution a thing in Star Wars?
I mean, of course.
I mean, physics is barely a thing in Star Wars sometimes, so, like...
So, yes and no, and I actually have I ran through, like, a thought experiment, I guess you would call it, about hyperspace lanes and what that means, right? So far as we know, hyperspace, that's not a thing, like, in reality, right? But, and also, nothing with mass can travel faster than the speed of light, or travel even at the speed of light. You can get all the way up really, really close to the speed of light and still have some mass, but you cannot achieve the speed of light while you still have mass. Only energy can move at that speed.
Or you'll go plaid.
Wow, nice. Solid reference. But, right?
Yeah.
We also know that the universe is expanding at greater than the speed of light. And it's not expanding uniformly in like a completely flat blanket everywhere, because it's in patches, right? So hyperspace lanes are sections of space that they have found that are currently expanding at greater than the speed of light. So by traveling in those lanes, they're able to accelerate themselves past the speed of light in a standard frame of reference, like sitting in this room, but it's not faster than the speed of light in the frame of reference of the space that's already expanding faster than the speed of light. And that is a hyperspace lane. Booyah. And I know I lost you, but that's all right.
You way lost me. So those are the podcasts he listens to, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, and yeah.
Yeah. PBS
Lost.
Spacetime is pretty good too. Serafina Nance, I follow her on Twitter. She posts lots of good stuff all the time.
Yeah, that is not my forte. You want to talk about
Jan 11.
birds?
Jan 11.
And, you know, ecosystems and all the little birdies and the monkeys. That, yeah. That's more
So
my
anyways,
speed.
that's the explanation that I came up with for hyperspace lanes. So
Cool.
there you go.
There you go.
Put a bow on it. It's yours.
So you said Hope earlier, who like says the co-podcaster for Jaig and Jedi, but she also has her own website called the Geeky Girl Experience. You should check that out. But like she wrote an article about expectations and a little bit about like I felt like those first 3 episodes of this arc were just kind of like, okay, get on with it. Like, I kept waiting for Ahsoka to be like, I'm a Jedi, or, you know, do some like Jedi shit that they noticed, and like it kept not happening. And I'm just kind of like, okay, after the 3rd episode I was like, can we move on, because like I really would like to get the Mandalore, like because it kept going like, and she was talking about how those 3 episodes didn't feel very Clone Wars-y, because Clone Wars-y is just, you know, very like transactional and like not one-off episodes, but you know, it's a war, they're moving, right? And how she said that they were more like Rebels episodes because they were more the character building, which she's right. And you know, Rebels is my jam, like that's my number 1 Star Wars content, but it was just like hard to put those 2 together. So it was kind of cool to like read what somebody wrote, me like, oh, I see why I'm having a hard time with these episodes now. They were just like slow.
Well, and they were kind of like, it was so awesome to see like new Ahsoka stuff on screen. You know what I mean? But at the same time, they were also very like kind of in a way not satisfying.
Yes. Because
we would get to the end of the episode, and I'm like, guess we gotta wait another week.
Right.
For more.
I think a lot of it has to do with that she doesn't have her lightsabers.
I mean,
like, I feel like, you know, the fights are cool, and like getting to see her without her lightsabers is awesome, but it's also like, but lightsabers.
I mean, I do think there was a missed opportunity, because multiple times when they were trying to escape from the Pikes, a baton fell to the ground near Ahsoka, and she did not pick it up, and beat the shit out of everyone.
No, she just did that with her feet in her hands.
Yeah, she just left it on the ground, and then she was just cracking skulls with her fists and shit. But it would have been cool to see her like pick up the batons and be like, and then just, dude.
But Rafa had some moves. Like she was.
Rafa got lucky.
Well, no, like
she should have been dead like 5 times.
No, but like in the episode in this today's thing when she fought the Trandoshan. Why can I never say that? Trandoshan. Like she actually had some like decent moves. Like when she went in to like try to kick him down and not realize that they're like solid.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like she had a little bit of somebody taught her how to fight a little bit at least. She just relied more on her words than fighting. She's kind of like Hondo, only not.
Hondo did plenty of fighting.
Did he? Or was it more just like...
Hondo and Han Solo, both of them.
That's true.
They probably did more talking themselves into fights than out of them.
Also true. No, they talked themselves into them and then talked themselves out of them a completely different direction than they went into it.
Yeah.
I love Hondo. But somebody taught her, I don't know, like...
Or maybe she just learned.
She's learned. But I mean, they haven't been orphans that long, though.
3 years.
Is it 3 years, though?
Well, the Clone Wars is only 3 years long, right?
Right, but like if you look at
so let's assume right.
Well, if you look for that whole
supposedly they got orphaned
arc,
when the Zero thing happened, which
right.
was very, very near the beginning of the Clone Wars.
Well, but
so then, like at the maximum amount of time they've been orphaned would be 3 years, but it probably hasn't even been quite that long.
No, because if you look at the chronological, they don't put the Zero episodes until. The 51st episode is Hostage Crisis, and then Hunt for Zero. And that's like, that would be 2 full seasons. That would essentially be the end of season 3 or beginning of season 4.
We can't really use the seasons as any sort of like, reference.
But like,
I'm looking at it more like...
I mean, yes, it's early. I don't think they're any more than like, I think there's probably been 2 years.
Anakin is no longer a Padawan in Clone Wars, right? But he is still a Padawan at the end of Attack of the Clones.
Mm-hmm.
So, like that time frame, whatever that sort of jump is, and then they assign him Ahsoka as a Padawan, it wouldn't have been like immediately after he became a Jedi Knight, right?
I don't know.
But it was apparently
somewhat
shortly after.
Yeah, well, and that was all Obi-Wan's doing too, right? Because like Obi-Wan told Anakin like it was gonna be like he was getting a Padawan, and then it's like actually I'm assigned to you, Master Skywalker.
No, it's Yoda.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, Yoda.
But Obi-Wan knew.
Did he?
I thought he knew. Like it wasn't.
I think I remember he makes like a cheeky comment or something like that.
It wasn't gonna be his Padawan. It was gonna be Anakin's.
Well, so Obi-Wan says something to Ahsoka when she first arrives, and Ahsoka says,
Maybe we should have watched the movie the other day when we started.
Well, no, I specifically remember the line. She says, "I'm at your service, Master Kenobi, but I've actually been assigned to Master Skywalker."
Oh, yeah, maybe he didn't know. But we know he knows about Padme. Everyone knows about Padme. Where are we going?
Well, dude, I mean, it's just like, of course they did.
Yeah.
Have you ever known 2 people ever who like tried to have like a secret relationship within like a community or a group of friends or something? You can't hide that shit.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Can you imagine how things have been different if they just been like okay with it?
I'm gonna have a baby.
No, the new villains pub.
Dude, I know. Whenever
it's so good.
When Hishi gets into that, like every time it's Vader or it's Anakin or like it doesn't matter. They always do that. Like I'm gonna be a granddad. Like it's so funny.
Execute Order 2.
He doesn't know how to use the shells. That would have been funny. It's an obscure non-Star Wars reference, but...
I had trouble with the pacing of these episodes. And I think I said that when we were talking about the Bad Batch arc, too, but it was like a different sort of like... I was anticipating things that were just like very slow to happen.
I think, like, going back and watching Bad Batch again now, I've really enjoyed them. I think my problem when the first time watching them was just that I was like, where's Ahsoka? Where's Ahsoka?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
now that like they've started to get into the Ahsoka stuff, I can go back and watch the Bad Batch stuff, and I'm like, yeah, Bad Batch is freaking badass, and their theme is amazing.
I love them. They're so cute.
I don't know, like, I don't have a problem necessarily with, like, I mean, the pace does feel slow, especially for Clone Wars. I agree. But, like, the fact that she doesn't have her lightsabers and that she's trying to be, like, discreet and stuff like that, I don't have a problem with that at all, really. And I kind of, like, I get why it has to be like that. And the book, she doesn't get her new lightsabers. It's like, she's without lightsabers almost the entire book.
Right.
So, and it felt right. You know what I mean? And so again now, like, she's learning to be...
But she was even more in hiding then.
Yeah, but so right now, it's because it's not about lightsabers right now. Right now, it's about who she is on the inside. It's about learning to be your own person, like, without the Jedi. Mm-hmm. And so she has to do that without anyone knowing that she was there, because then their perception and the way they treat her is going to be different and based on something related to the Jedi instead of just her.
Right.
Which is why... like, at the end, that was kind of satisfying for Rafa and Trace to both be like, you are exactly the type of person that we think Jedi should be.
Right.
You know, like, coming from Rafa.
Right.
You know what I mean? That carries a lot of weight.
Yeah.
But she got to that point because of the way Ahsoka acted before she knew that she was a Jedi.
Right.
And, like, yeah. Right. So, like, if they'd seen her do all that stuff, like, whatever, it wouldn't have been the same.
Mm-hmm. Bo-Katan!
Yeah.
And the Countess Ursa-Ren. Excited.
Bo-Katan looks sad, dude.
Well,
when she took that helmet off and she was talking about it, she looked upset.
Well, so her
like, even
sister
more
was
upset.
murdered and, like,
even more upset than she did when Obi-Wan said, "I'm so sorry." And I mean, I guess to be fair, she was in the middle of a battle at that point, but
right.
like...
But yeah. Like...
Although I am kind of curious, like, WTF, Obi-Wan? I'm pretty sure she put you on that ship and said, tell the Republic what's going on here. And then now here we are. She's having to, like, secretly recruit ex-Jedi. What the fuck are you doing, Kenobi? He probably is doing a lot, and we just don't get to see it yet, you know what I mean? But...
Well, I mean, yeah. Yeah. Or you know, the Republic went back to the whole, well, they're neutral, so we can't do anything. You weren't supposed to be there in the first place, Obi-Wan.
Well, and that's the thing. I'm sure he's probably, like, working secret back channel stuff with, like, what's his face? You know, the dude. The guy with the thing. And the ships. And the planet.
Sure.
I'll get there.
Cool.
I'll get there.
Super excited about Bo-Katan and Ursa Ren being in there. That's really cool. I was so excited because, like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, wait. Like, I know that.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of people on Twitter were like, oh, she sounds like the Armorer, and I was like,
who?
Ursa Ren sounds like the Armorer.
I mean, she would be, like, in her 90s.
She would be old. Maybe not in her 90s.
Because isn't she in, like, her mid to late 50s in Rebels?
I suppose so. Yeah. Well, who knows whenever she had... I mean, we know Sabine's, like, a toddler right now. Like, 1 or 2.
Yeah, so figure...
Or she's like 2 and Tristan's probably, like, 1. Like, she's probably had Tristan by now.
So she's probably, like, somewhere between... Ursa is probably somewhere between 25 and 35.
Sure, yeah.
So then...
You know, Sabine's a... Yeah, so I guess she'd be in her 50s. When we see her in Rebels. She kind of looks older, too. Like, that's when she should be.
And then,
Okay.
well, no, yeah, so she would be in like 60s or 70s then. If it's
In Rebels?
In Mandalorian.
I'm like,
If it
I
was
ain't
her.
not that old.
I don't think it would be her though, because I don't think she would have just abandoned like any of her like signets or any of her iconic
Well,
like
but
imagery
like,
on her helmets and stuff. Because like,
but that was something that like people talked about, how we go from knowing Mandalorians like this, like in Clone Wars and Rebels and things like that, to like where they are now, like what the Purge, like how much did the Purge change
their culture.
their culture? Did they have
That's
to
fair.
just go way back to?
Well, but I mean, at the same time, still, like, I guess my point is that like if they're in hiding as is,
wouldn't she have
wouldn't
to
she-
change her stuff?
no,
if they were in
wouldn't she
hiding?
still just wear it? They're in hiding. If you're in hiding wearing your helmet, what does it matter if you have your thing on it? You're in hiding.
I guess. I mean, they still go out.
Yeah, but
Not a lot. I mean, I doubt she's the armor. Like,
yeah, I mean,
she's not
right.
the armor. But Sabine's the armor.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Oh my god.
I feel like there would still be art. I mean,
Armor
making
is her art now.
I knew that's where you were gonna go, but like, she doesn't really sculpt anything now. Like she paints.
That's true.
So like to completely change medium.
Again, we don't know what the Purge did. But yeah, excited about them. Super excited for Siege of Mandalore. I love Maul. He's back. It makes me happy. I don't know why I have such an obsession with Maul. Just love Maul. It's so tragic.
Yeah, as soon as they started saying like he always knows whatever, I'm like, they're talking about Maul.
I was like,
They're definitely
it's
talking about Maul.
It's Maul. I'm excited. So Maul. And like when he senses Ahsoka, I was like, yes.
Yeah. Why are you here?
It's
I
gonna
was
be
expecting
so
Kenobi.
pretty. It's gonna be so pretty.
I can't wait for that. Well, I mean, we're gonna be in it next episode.
No,
We gotta be in it. That felt rushed to me, I will say though.
And that was part of my worry with like how slow that was going, is that like all the rest of it's gonna be rushed.
So, but I mean, we should be.
We get 4
My
episodes.
best guess though is that we get 5, right? We've only had 3 Martez Sisters episodes, right?
4. This was 4.
Really? Why did they commit 4 episodes to the Martez Sisters?
Which was part of the like, why are we still doing
I
this?
could have totally
Let me double
been
check that.
content. I could have sworn it was only 3.
Let me look. Star Wars. Season 7.
Because she crashes on their deck, and that's the one with the droids.
Okay, so Gone with a Trace, Deal or No Deal, Dangerous Debt, Together Again. 4.
Well,
That's another reason why I was like, get on with it.
so Mandalore 4. Mandalore 3 episodes.
4.
Order 66 1.
I think they're
That's
just
my
gonna-
guess.
I think those are gonna be like.
Well, they kind of do,
the
but
same
the
episode.
third episode, the end of the third episode is going to be Order 66. And then the 4th episode is going to be the end of the Clone Wars. And, like, some stories for our characters of what happens when Order 66 happens that we haven't previously gotten. That's my guess. But it definitely felt like they rushed that transition.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we just did all this thing, we escaped the thing, and then we're back at the thing, and hey, Ahsoka, we really like you, and you're what Jedi should be, and hey, who's this person walking out with his armor? Hey, remember me? Oh, you do remember me. Good. Well, we have a common enemy. It's this dude. You know him. You got 5 minutes. You coming with? I need your help.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That was kinda-
uh,
Well, and I'm wondering if,
like, there should have been she should have approached Ahsoka at some point on the freaking planet, or helped in their rescue and somehow. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I mean, like, I want to talk to you.
But they weren't.
like,
Well, but that's not what they were there for, though. Apparently, they were there for something else.
well, they were there
And they
probably to
found
scout
us.
on the pikes.
Right, and then they
Because it's part of
found
like Maul's
Ahsoka.
empire. No, I get that. I
And
understand
so,
they
like,
weren't looking for
I
her.
get why that might be rushed, because like they weren't planning on her at all, and now that they know she's there and know what she's capable of, they're like, we need to get her.
Yeah.
Like, that part
Because she
makes
recognized
sense.
her.
Yeah.
When they ran past, like, Bo-Katan recognized her because, like, they had a face-to-face fight on the freaking snow chase with Lux.
Here's the thing, like, watching that episode again, before we started this, the Mandalorian they run past, the one that like turns and looks, that's not Bo-Katan. That's the other one, the one that hasn't talked.
What?
Yeah, if you look back, you can see the little. It doesn't have Bo-Katan's fancy.
I thought it had the owl eye things.
No, it just has the little thing right here. It doesn't have the whole fancy.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. No, I don't know. Let me look.
I'm not sure about that. I was pretty convinced that was Bo-Katan.
It's dangerous, Dad, right? I don't think it's Bo-Katan. I think it's her third hand woman.
I do think though, like they could have blended the stories together a little bit better. I think.
Yeah.
Instead of it being okay, and we're done with the Martez sisters, let's go to Mandalore. Like.
Yeah. Yeah.
If like the Mandalorians had helped them escape a little bit, you know, like when they're like running away at the end and doing the shooting and all that, like.
Yeah, they just kind of like awkwardly followed them. And then there's still my question of like,
the Fang shows
no
up on
one in Coruscant was like, hey, there's a Fang. Should we
But I mean, like, I guess it's still like it's a ship. People have them.
Yeah, but
you know, like people drive old Crown Vics that still have police shit on them. You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess, but like, it just seemed very like nobody was. I mean, and I understand there's like, you know, thousands of ships flying around Coruscant at any given moment.
Right.
In, you know, not military lanes when people can sense their former Padawans in the but
oh yeah, dude, that I was not expecting that. That hurt when they took off. They took off in Trace's ship, and they're flying up, and like I heard Admiral Yularen, and I was like, oh, it's Yularen, haha, and it didn't even occur to me like, who would be on that ship with Yularen, and then all of a sudden, there it was, and he felt her, and it was just like,
jerks.
I know that was coming.
Right? Yeah, thanks for that one, Dave. Damn it. But like, is that the same? I realize there's like more than one Goat Man, but like, is that the same Goat Man from?
That she took the thing from? Probably not. It's a different planet.
But like, yeah, I was kind of like nobody. I feel like that would have been one of the kinds of ships that were on, like, Coruscant's radar. Like, why are we suddenly getting not just like a Fang, but a Fang painted up with Death Watch stuff? Because it was still blue and like Death Watchy.
I mean, I feel like just one
that's a new
may
adjective.
not throw up flags. You know, like if it was like a fleet or a caravan or whatever, then like maybe that would be flags, but like a single ship.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems kind of.
Plus, like so many ships in and out of that place. There's no way they.
And that's why I was kind of like,
they
maybe there's just too
like
many
see
ships going in and out, and they wouldn't notice. It's
a good thing that you have your brightness at like 5%. Is that as bright as it gets?
Yes, because it's on night mode. It's Ursa.
No, that's definitely Bo-Katan.
No.
You can see the little owl things right there.
Well, Ursa has
Bink.
that too, because hers are.
Ursa's is like golden charcoal
yeah, but that
colored.
was gold. Oh
That's
wait,
blue
hang on. Nightlight was on. Sorry. Hang on.
Totally Bo-Katan, dude. The other one, the third one, the dark strip comes down like right next to parallel with the like the window pane thing in the middle.
Hang on, trying to find all three of them together. Three of them. love them. There we go. Nope. Nope. See? It was totally Ursa that they bumped up against. Because hers is white in the center. That's Bo-Katan. That's the other random person that we haven't heard it from
That's
yet.
what I was saying.
It was Ursa.
Hers is white and blue, and that's like gold and like charcoal on the outside.
Yeah, and the one they bump into is Ursa. It's not Bo-Katan. It's Ursa.
Go back and look between the eyes.
What, in the other shot?
Yeah. I'm gonna be gold.
Oh, that was
Perfect. Yeah, it's Ursa.
It's Ursa. They bump into Ursa.
So, how did Ursa recognize Ahsoka?
I don't think she recognized Ahsoka. I think she was like, what the fuck's going on here?
It's a planet run by crime lords. There's people getting chased all the time. Well, no, she was in the Death Watch camp, wasn't she? Didn't we see her? The same snow episode on
I guess you could assume she was there.
I thought we saw her. I thought we actually saw her.
She's supposed to be in the throne room when Maul kills Pre Vizsla. But like, I don't know if we ever like explicitly know that she's on Karnak.
Yeah, what was it? Karnak.
No, Karnak's like an Egyptian place, I think. It's from like the Mummy. It's like Kardak. Kodak? I don't know. The thing when Lux Bonteri decides to be dumb and accidentally joins Death Watch because he's dumb. Oh, Lux.
What is the planet with this? Dude, I wasn't done.
Well, you paused long enough.
You paused. Where Ahsoka and Lux fight Death Watch in the snow. Karlak.
There we go. We were close.
Look, you doubted her. You were over here rolling your eyes at Google Assistant. She's never gonna get that. That bitch can't answer that question. Good job, Google Assistant.
Whatever. Also, her universe, if you could get on making those Mando cloaks, that'd be great.
I would also like...
And Ahsoka's jumpsuit, for the love of God, please. I need that jumpsuit.
I want like a hoodie that has extra material for the hood, but that's cut and like sewn together in a way that it falls like her like mantrals in Lake Hu. You know what I mean? Like it's just extra parts of the hood.
Really complicated.
It might be, but it would be sweet. And also that pokes up. I love when Ahsoka wears hoods.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it creates that shape. It's freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm. She pretty. I do like the little headband. It's the best description of what it is. Like the headband she's wearing right now, like the leather one.
Yeah, the leather strip thing, whatever.
I really dig that one. Like the one that's coming up here.
Yeah, that looks almost like a crown, almost.
Yeah,
I'm assuming there's like a built-in communicator, and that's part of it too, or I don't know.
I'm not a fan of. Her outfit's cute.
It's not my favorite.
Not,
I don't.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a problem with it necessarily, but it's definitely not my favorite.
Mm-hmm. But the one she's got on right now is totally like my second favorite. Of her little head.
Yeah, the leather strap thing is pretty cool.
Her head. I'm gonna call them headbands.
Well, I mean, my favorite would be like the one she wears. It's like the teeth or something.
And
like those spiky things. Yeah. So those are apparently.
At the end of the.
It's the teeth of some animal that's like native to that planet. That's like a rite of passage thing to hunt it.
Huh.
Something like that.
I didn't know.
I haven't read that in a long time, so that might be off a little bit, but.
I like the one she has on in Rebels. Her whole outfit in Rebels, like just her in Rebels.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love her.
Her thing in Rebels, though, again, too, is really, like, kind of crowny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it fits her, like, overall head better. Like, I feel like that's just kind of, like,
I mean, at the same time, I also feel like it's kind of like just it's for the artists to not have to try and draw a fucking transition between her face and.
Well, yeah, that's what it. Yeah, that's why like the female Twi'leks have that, because they're just like, so we can make the dudes look kind of bony, but like the girls are gonna look really weird.
I don't think they look weird, and I mean like the.
Have you seen a Twi'lek female without like
yeah,
a headpiece?
all the time. All the time.
What? They always
And
have
like,
some sort of like head scarf.
And
kind of thing.
I don't think Shakti wears a face framing thing though.
No.
But she's also in nowhere near as many scenes as Ahsoka is, right? And she's old enough that there's an obvious physical transition,
right?
Because like the.
Well, I think her face pattern distracts more from like.
Well, that's true. Yeah, because she's got like almost a full white.
Yeah, I think her face pattern distracts more from that, because it's just very like raccoony
Dude,
looking.
can you imagine being on like a desert planet with Shakti's face?
I was like, yes, because we live in a desert.
Yeah.
I mean, like the.
And how bright is it just with as white as our skin is, right? If your skin was like straight up white like paper, like snow, surrounding your eyes in the desert, dude, that would be so bright.
Lost. I'm lost. I love Maul.
No.
Oh, I love Maul. Thank you, Sam Witwer and Ray Park. Thank you.
Dude, I am so pumped for this fight, man. This is
great.
gonna be the greatest lightsaber duel in the history of Star Wars.
It's gonna be wonderful. I can't wait. It's gonna be beautiful.
And it's gonna be a long, long time before they're ever able to top it, because it's gonna be a long time before they're gonna have two characters who are as popular as these two characters, who are as capable with a lightsaber and the Force as these two characters,
who have so much history,
to meet up.
Yeah.
To actually have these two characters cross paths.
It's gonna be so pretty.
Like, we may never see a better lightsaber battle
Don't let us
in
down,
our
Dave.
entire lives
Don't let us down, Dave.
than what we're gonna see at some point in the next 4 episodes of Clone Wars.
Oh, it's gonna be so pretty.
When Ahsoka and Maul face off, it will be a duel for the ages.
A duel of fates. Even.
I mean, what they did the first time. You can't just use the same
I
name.
know. Well, they do use that music quite well. I mean, I guess it's Maul's theme.
It's kind of it's kind of like tied to Maul at this point.
Yeah, because going back through and listening to season 2 Rebels soundtrack, which are we ever gonna get 3 and 4, Kevin Kiner?
Yeah, dude, for real. What's the story there?
Not that I need to hear the music from Jedi Knight, but I do. It's kind of like, one of those things where, we'll listen to Ahsoka Leaves and like, you shouldn't, but you gotta. But like, not watching the show and just listening to the music, I didn't really realize how much that Duel of the Fates is in that scene, because you're focused on like what's going on, and then every once in a while you might hear a little bit of the
with Kanan, you mean?
Yeah, when he blinds Kanan. Spoilers. Which honestly, if you haven't watched Rebels now, just do it.
If you haven't seen all of Rebels, why are you even here?
Right, because there's important shit in there, like Ursa Red.
Well, I mean, like, no, I guess I'm more thinking like somebody who has not already consumed everything that Star Wars has to offer is not the type of person to watch a Star Wars podcast.
That's true.
I wouldn't think, anyways.
I mean, and there's like really no excuse at this point because it's all on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
That's not to say like we've consumed all of the non-TV content. I will probably never read a lot. I mean, I really want to read the Vader comics. Like when you had them, I should have read them. I really want to read Last Padawan.
Oh, you're saying not just non-TV, but you're talking about like movies too. You're saying print.
Print, yeah, and I'm like,
yeah.
I really want to read those, but like I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big Darth Vader fan.
I love
but those
Vader.
Vader comics were worth it.
Well, I love that era of Vader. I love, like... Your eyebrows twitching.
It is? I don't even feel it.
It's not doing it now, but I did it like a minute ago. I love that era of Vader, where he's just kind of like, that scene in Rogue One where he's just like wrecking shit, and the scene in Rebels and Siege of Lothal where he's just like, I'm gonna lift these fiery ass walkers, so bitches, kind of thing. Like, I like that era, and I know that the Vader comics take place in that era, so like that's the Vader that I like. So that's why I'm kind of like, I should read them, and I like the Inquisitors, and I just don't like reading. I'm sorry if I've offended so many people. I hate reading. I will read a textbook all day. But even like a story that I am super interested in, I'm just like, can't do it. I'll listen to them. I'll do the audiobooks. I can do that. That's how I got through New Dawn and Alphabet Squadron.
And Pirate's Price.
And Pirate's Price.
And Ahsoka.
Yes.
Yeah, I just, like, I mean, I could appreciate the sort of, like, I could appreciate him as a villain, particularly in, like, the earlier days when he was, like, very rage-driven.
Yeah.
And
when he's still kind of Anakin. Like, he's still Anakin.
But I don't like Vader just because of, like, what he is. You know what I mean? Like, he's a traitor. He betrayed, like, literally everything that he said that he loved. The Republic, the Jedi, Padme. He betrayed everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So fuck that guy.
Well, but that's when, that's the essential question. When is a positive personality trait a tragic flaw? Like, he loved Padme so much. He was so loyal to her. Loved her so much that he was willing to be blinded by the dark side to save her. Willing to be manipulated to the point where that's where he went.
I mean, are you willing to be manipulated? Like,
Well, not...
It's not manipulation at that
Well,
point.
you know what I mean? Like, he was willing to do whatever it took to save her. And that led him to be manipulated. I mean, the whole thing was manipulation because it was totally...
no, it was
Palpatine.
fear.
But it was... I mean...
He was afraid that she was going to die. And
right,
instead
because
of, like,
he loves her so much.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like, but he didn't. He loved having her so much. He didn't love her so much.
I can see that.
Like, it was a possession that he was going to lose. If you love somebody, then you absolutely had to be prepared to let them go when the time comes.
Yeah, but he didn't expect the time to be then.
No one ever expects when it is. That's what I'm saying.
I get that. Yes, I'm aware.
I just, I don't. And I mean, sure, I guess, like, blame Palpatine if you want, but, like,
it was all his fault. Like, he
if you blame
literally
Palpatine,
orchestrated every
then
second of
you basically have to admit that then Anakin's naivety is what led him to betray everyone. Literally everyone.
Yeah.
In the galaxy.
And people who haven't even been born yet in the galaxy because his grandkids still have to deal with this bullshit.
Also, like, if he really disagreed with Mace, he could have just blocked his lightsaber. Didn't have to chop off the dude's arms.
Plot point?
You know, like...
Yeah.
No, I'm serious, bro. He has to stand trial. It's the right thing to do. You know it is. Search your heart, Mace. Okay, we're good. All right, let's arrest him.
Like,
No, he's trying to shock us. It was all a ploy.
We're like, you were so adamant about Ahsoka standing trial, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh, that scene.
And you didn't have a problem cutting off Dooku's head at the beginning of this same movie, hypocrite.
One, like, that whole scene where they're like, "This was actually your great trial." Like, how fucking condescending! All three of those.
So we're
guys.
talking about at the end of the final Ahsoka arc in the original run of Clone Wars, where like, Anakin catches Barriss and brings her in, and Ahsoka's like, "Go, whatever," and she's standing in the what is the name of the fucking room?
I don't know, the room where the council gathers, the council room.
Yeah, the council chambers.
There we go. Chambers.
Sure, council chambers.
Yeah.
And they're like, so Anakin says, "I'm so sorry," and then
Anakin apologizes.
And then it was Obi-Wan next, right? And Obi-Wan said, "You have shown great strength through this," right?
I thought that was the other dude. Talking about strength and resilience. The dude with the horns. That, like, nobody... I don't know his name.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. So I thought whatever it is that Obi-Wan said, I thought was also very, like... it was Ahsoka-centric, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like, what he said was, like, thoughtful.
Right.
And
he wasn't even there for some of it. Like, he was a hologram in the first conversations. Like, he wasn't even there.
Yeah. So then the dude with the horns, right, he was like, "You've shown great strength and whatever." And then...
Kiadi Monday says something.
No, Obi-Wan... Does Obi-Wan speak, or was it Plo that spoke after?
Oh, it was Plo.
Plo speak. Obi-Wan didn't speak. Plo spoke after Anakin.
Spoke. Yeah.
And then the dude with the horns...
And then Kiadi Monday.
Yeah, and then Kiadi Mundi, his was
man.
even worse, because he said, what did he say? I don't know.
Oh,
but
the worst one is fucking Mace.
Yeah, then Mace's was the absolute worst. It was, dude.
The three of them can just, like, get fucked.
You've shown great strength that's what it was. It was Mundi that said, like, great strength and resilience.
Well, and then this was actually your great trial.
And then Windu was the one who was like, "This was actually your great trial," and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, bro. Dude.
No.
Stop.
No.
I'm about to great trial your face, okay?
Be like,
get out of here.
Literally 3 hours ago, you're ready to, like, throw her to the wolves. So, like, just stop.
Well, and watching it back now again, too. And, like, it's funny how every time you watch stuff, sometimes you can get something else out of it.
Oh, yeah, I do that all the time with Rebels. I've seen
Jedi
it millions of times.
Expelled her from the Order without evidence.
Thank you. Well, I mean, I guess they felt their hands were tied with
evidence,
Farkin, but...
And without testimony, there was literally nothing other than they acquired, like, she was captured in this building that had boxes of these things, right?
Right.
Which is not in
of
itself evidence.
The other evidence, like, the video of her choking Letta.
Which doesn't even look like somebody force choking someone.
Yeah. Right.
And she has been acting as a commander in the Grand Army of the Republic for years now.
That didn't warrant
a tactician.
Yeah.
A strategist. So she's going to walk into a room that she knows has cameras.
Make it look very obvious that she's the one that did
and
it.
just, flagrantly force choke someone. Get out. You're done.
Their excuse is clouded by the dark side. All this is.
Well, so that too, to me, was talking about everything. Not that, not just that stuff.
Yeah, but that's...
But it was like everything. But I feel like it's worth noting, though, Yoda specifically says... Though not in agreement.
Right, because they weren't.
Right.
But they,
I guess, I would like to believe that at least Yoda and Kenobi. And Plo, for sure. That probably all said no.
But they were outnumbered.
Right.
Isn't Luminara on the council? Is she not?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't.
Remember.
Shakti is. I kind of hate that they sidelined Shakti for like all of Clone Wars.
That's true.
And
until like the very end.
They left her in like Camino.
Yeah. Well, and like that was something I made a jump here. Luminara. So like we're all assuming that the Jedi who spoke to Trace and wow, Trace. I just had like a bleh. Trace and Rafa was Luminara.
Yeah, that was my guess.
But I mean, it could also be Barriss, but like Barriss wouldn't have been in a position to like speak to
why
a
would
victim.
she
I
go
don't
and
think.
right.
But then I saw somebody on Twitter saying like, well, what if Barriss was there and saw how cold Luminara's response was, and that kind of but like that was just another like tick in the Jedi aren't who they say they are anymore belt for her. That was just kind of like the first beginnings of, because that was just, like what Luminara said, assuming it was Luminara, said was the equivalent of like GOP thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
And that was thoughts and prayers.
So I wonder though too, like, because I feel like a lot of her personality is actually their species, because like Luminara and Barriss are the same species, and that species is one of the ones that has unique permissions within the Jedi Order, in that they always take a Padawan of their own species. Or is it the other way around? It's that, or a Padawan of that species will always be assigned to a master of the same species.
Mm-hmm. Like that's like a culture thing for their species. Your eye's doing it again. You don't feel that?
Are you talking about my eyelid right here?
No, it's like right here. It's
This one? No, I don't feel my eyebrow twitching. I feel my eyelid twitching every now and again.
That's weird.
It's because I don't sleep enough at all. But, so like, so I wonder though, like, if that sort of like very dry, even toned sort of personality and approach is like the way their species is, because Barriss talks very much like her, but she could be doing it because that's how her master talks. Or
well, okay, so then like Luminara would be the worst choice for anybody to like go console some victims. Like,
oh no,
out
for
of
sure.
all, like send Kiadi Mundi for God's sake. Like Luminara, like she was cool with just, and Hope wrote about this in her Geeky Girl thing too. Like she was cool with just like letting her Padawan just die on Geonosis. Like,
I did not lose faith in my Padawan, Skywalker. However, when the time comes to let her go, I am prepared to do so. Can you say the same?
She's just very cold and like, not cold, but like.
Well, but and see, here's the thing though. Now you come into like perception. Like you're saying that she's cold because she doesn't do the things the way that you would do them.
Well, I mean, yeah, or like anybody really would probably do.
She does.
Right. But again, like that makes her a terrible candidate for going and consoling victims of something.
Yeah, so I don't disagree with that at all.
Terrible.
Right.
Like, for God's sake, send Obi-Wan.
Yeah, that's kind of like that whole thing, like
Jesus.
how you present information has a very large impact on the way it is received. You know, like if you tell somebody that there is a 93% chance that they're going to live, or you tell them that there's a 7% chance that they're going to die, the response to those statements is entirely different.
Right.
For most people, anyways.
Right. So Luminara is just like the worst choice. Like just.
Yeah. No.
She really did
even
just like
Anakin
thoughts and,
would have been better.
She really did just like thoughts and prayers them, like.
Yep.
Okay. Ridiculous. I do kind of wish, like, I know after last week, and they're talking about, like, oh, Hunt for Zero, I'm like, oh, did we see that? Like, going back through it, like, no, we didn't see that, but it would be kind of cool. If we could have seen that.
Oh, yeah, when they referenced the whole, like, Cad Bane
like,
shooting a ship, and, we never get to see that.
Because they didn't put it, or they didn't release it in chronological order. We might have if that had been the plan all along.
I'm pretty sure. I haven't watched the cartoons in a long time. The original, like, Clone Wars, the two series cartoons. But I'm pretty sure it's not in there.
No, I don't think it is. But because those two episodes were so separated in the order in which they were released, like, you know, I don't know if they ever really thought to, and I guess that's why they went with that, like, oh, we could go in with that because nobody would ever question it because they never got to see it anyway. So there's not a lot of continuity they have to worry about because they were so separated when they were originally released.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like at the end of Hostage Crisis, you just see them like riding off into the sunset, basically. And then you don't see anything until like what, season 3? There's a season 2 for the
Bail Organa.
Zero. What? Okay. What about
that? Is the name that I was trying to think of earlier, with an O and a G, and the guy with the ships, and the planet. Yep, Bail Organa. That's what I was going for. So, and I was trying to think of his name to say, Obi-Wan could have been running some like secret side hustle stuff with Bail to get stuff to Mandalore.
Probably.
In the meantime.
Probably. I
got there before we ended, which is like pretty much now. All right, what are your predictions for the next episode?
Congratulations. I don't know. I don't think we'll get. I mean, we're gonna get the Hi Master. It's been a long time, so we're gonna be back on an Axis at least the very beginning, I think, or at the end. But we're gonna be back on an Axis.
A Nexus.
Yeah. The planet with the base.
Oh, but not Ahsoka on an Axis.
No,
right.
We're gonna get, that scene.
Yeah, you think they're gonna bring the Bad Batch to Mandalore? I don't think they're gonna come. I think it's just gonna be the 501st.
Yeah. Well, but like, Ahsoka. I thought Ahsoka's battalion's a different number. It's not the 501st, because that's like.
Well, Rex is the 501st.
Yeah. Thought they gave her like a different one. I guess we'll see. But
maybe.
I think.
But at the same time, they painted their helmets to show respect because like of all the time that they.
Right. I guess. But like.
Bail Organa.
I don't think. Oh God. I can't tell if that scene where she's like, "Hello, Master, it's been a long time," will be the beginning of the next episode or the end of the next episode. I think we're moving back on an Axis.
I think at the earliest it will be the end of the next episode.
That's the end of the next episode.
But like, I feel like realistically, it's
That's
probably going to be the beginning of
it has to, because
the
then
next one.
This episode is going to be. So they're going to be on Mandalore, and they're going to figure out like, okay, well, this is what's going on, and we should I'm going to contact Anakin and Obi-Wan. Like, we need help.
So not Anakin. That's like I agree with that part. So I think next episode is going to be like, yes, hey, person that I fought a long time ago, who was a Jedi at some point.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Look upon my field of sorrows.
And note that it is not barren.
Like, this is what Mandalore looks like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Maul is here, there's crime everywhere, blah, blah, blah. And Ahsoka, like, big heart, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, what can I do to help?
Well,
whatever.
but Ahsoka also knew Satine, so, like, I'm sure there's going to be
She met her once.
Was it just once?
Briefly, and then she chased down Lux.
Oh, right.
To save him from the commando droids, and then they went to
Right.
Karlak and all that.
Right.
So.
But, like, she knows who Satine is, at least.
She knew who she was, sure. But then. So I think that next episode is going to be mostly like, there's going to be some crime boss fighting. They're going to manage to get themselves a foothold. They're going to review the situation. And Ahsoka is going to reach out to Obi-Wan to say, like, hey, this is what's going on. Or she's going to go to a secret meeting with a contact with Bo-Katan,
Mm-hmm.
and that contact is going to be Obi-Wan.
It's going to be Obi-Wan. Yeah. Probably.
And so then through that, somehow they get the Republic support they need. And then that's when they put together, like, the task force for Mandalore
Mm-hmm.
and everything with Anakin and Obi-Wan and all of them, right? And then that's episode 2 of the Mandalore arc. And then episode 3 of the Mandalore arc At the end of the episode 2, Anakin and Obi-Wan are going to get pulled away to go rescue the Chancellor, which is the beginning of Revenge of the Sith. And then we're going to get a cliffhanger ending, Dave Filoni, at the end of the second episode of the Why Are You Here? I Was Expecting Kenobi.
Do you think the last 2 episodes are going to be released at the same time? Or do you think they'll make us wait a week?
They'll probably make us wait a week because
I don't know, but like historically they haven't though.
They are sadistic.
Yeah, but like historically they haven't. Or I think I can't remember who brought this up. Will that last episode be an hour-long episode and not a 22-minute episode?
If we could get the last 4 episodes to be hours long, that would be amazing.
That would make me feel a lot better because I'm worried that it's going to get rushed because...
Yeah. Like, you started the Clone Wars series with a movie. Let's just end it with a movie, too.
And had several movies in there in between,
reasonable.
To be honest. Like, half of those arcs are movies.
Well, that's true, yeah. Well, and like, the longest ones are 5. There's one. Isn't there one episode? Yes. The 5-episode arc is Colonel Meeber Gascon, and which ends with Gregor. That's like that's the only one. There's a lot of 4-episode arcs. That's
Sunny Day in the Void. Is that one?
That's like one in the middle.
That's one of them.
That's the one where Gregor gets introduced.
Yeah. Which Gregor's cool and all, but like that whole arc, I'm just like, okay, there's so many droids.
It was pretty tough to watch.
I'm over it.
I think the first 2 times, but I definitely find it easier now.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, it's because there's 2 buffoons.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the most stable, stoic protagonist that you get in those arcs is R2-D2.
R2-D2 is the savior of Star Wars.
Yeah. But then you have Meeber Gascon, who is just a complete goon that doesn't know how the real world works. Sure, he's a brilliant strategist and whatever, but he has a ridiculous ego problem because he's tiny.
Yes.
And then you have to deal with Dumb Droid, who is just
a dumb droid,
completely wired backwards on so many things.
Some of us are just wired.
It's like somebody watched that arc with those droids, and they were like, you know what, this droid, we're gonna turn him into like an actual like person character, make him green, give him like a flight jumpsuit. We'll put him in the new Star Wars series called The Resistance.
Oh god. It's Niku.
It's Niku. That droid is Niku. Or rather, Niku is that droid.
We still need to watch season 2.
You're like, he says he does the same stupid thing where there's like an just like with like, so I mean, I feel like Marvel did a better job with Drax, right? A little bit for the most part, but like when people write these overly literal characters, it's always so inconsistent.
Yeah. Well, obnoxious. Just
it's only like they're only like that when it's potentially a joke.
Mm-hmm. We still need to watch season 2 of Resistance. We've had it for how long now?
Yeah, we'll get to it.
I can't.
I'm not super
excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe if I get sick again and I'm confined to the couch for 5 days, I will try and watch it. Or maybe watching it will lower my immune system and cause me to become terminally ill.
It's just, well, and part of the reason why I don't care about Resistance so much is just not the era that I'm connected to.
Yeah. And I feel like it took them a little too long to connect it to things within the new era that it is in.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Poe Dameron's there, okay, sure, BB-8's there, cool, those are just
Leia's
characters,
there.
like, but then when they finally got to the end of season 1, I was kind of a little bit excited when Hux was on his, like, fucking fever rant.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right. Well, and then, like, when they destroyed Hosnian Prime, I was like, why does that sound familiar?
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Right, that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess it's just, like, I'm not even that connected to the sequel trilogy. Like, this whole time period, I'm just like, it's cool and all. Also, like, I can't with the animation. Like, it's not my jam. So it's just.
I mean, I don't mind the animation style. It's not my favorite for sure, but like, it doesn't really.
It's not my jam.
mess with me that much.
Niku and Kaz are just
Yeah, Niku and
two.
It's the same thing that I was saying about that other arc. These are two of the main characters, and they're both idiots.
Absolutely obnoxious. Like I can't.
Kaz has like
Kaz
a little
is
bit of
spaz.
an ego issue,
And that.
but he's also like klutzy, and he's kind of like a spazoid.
Which makes
He's
sense
totally
for why
naive.
they would pick him to be the spy, because nobody would pick him to be the spy.
Right, sure.
I can't. I'll get there eventually, I guess. But, on to Mandalore.
Yeah.
Yay. I'm excited.
Well, so I hope you guys enjoyed.
Our musings.
Yeah, our random like rants about Star Wars and,
Organa.
and all of our sideways twists and turns that we take along the way. That have nothing to do with Star Wars, but if you did watch,
Thumbs
thanks.
up.
Thanks.
Like,
and you can
subscribe.
like. Hey, if you didn't like it, hit the dislike button. And then
That too.
but also leave a comment and tell us why.
But not
That would
like
be helpful.
if you could not be a gatekeeper, that'd be great. If you're a gatekeeper, just get fucked.
Well, yeah, if your reason why it has something to do with
It's not real Star Wars, get fucked.
yeah.
Because this is more Star Wars than Star Wars. Like Star Wars, like this is Star Wars.
Who's a gatekeeper now?
What? I'm not gonna like tell somebody they're wrong for your eyebrows.
I
doing
feel it now.
again.
I feel it that time. That was like a strong eyebrow. Just getting my workout in, burning some calories.
At least something is.
Okay, it's in here ice cream every night.
Not every night.
The last 3.
No, I did not have ice cream last night.
Good talk, guys. We'll see you guys next time.